Word. The work shirt. Anyways, so okay. I always say so and I say K. I'm ridiculous. I wanted to go ahead and start this video with a little bit of context because I just finished up my first trip on the new suspension that I put in the rear, which is a dual triangulation. The rear end of mine, when I ran on the medium or stock length rear control arms, the back end would tend, when I got in a high angle, the back axle would kind of suck under, which would make it more likely to go ahead and feel back and feel unstable. Stability has been awesome. The big difference that I have that I'm hoping to fix with limiting straps coming up is going to be the left to right sway on there, the roll. Pitch wise, I feel a lot more stable going up high, but because of the freeness of it, when I go ahead and lean, it feels, whether the degree changes there, but I can feel the difference in weight going left to right on that. So that's going to be one area to kind of keep in mind, but follow along. I'm going to hit the high notes of what we're doing. There are individual videos for most of the different things that I had to take care of and chose to take care of on this. So if you want to, go ahead and take a look at those. Let's walk through this. We'll smack with the sludge. There, we're off. I got the 4-inch template made and traced on here. So that way I'm just crowning the tip of this and then cutting extra off. So that way this should fit the axle tube well. And then I positioned it so that way, because I'm not going to be able to weld on the outside of this and on this side of the actual coil perch. So I'm trying to get these close enough, so I'm going to end up welding in here to the tube. We got the truss on and the spring perch back on. I was welding it at 3/8 strength, so I think we're actually probably really good. And then over here, I had to fill that in with weld, which I went over the top to make it look better than it really is underneath. But either way, that side's in, the outside's in. Up. Oh. I cut off the cross member. If you're doing the 4-link, you got to cut this out of the way to try and fit these bad boys up in there. We have got the last bit done. Not the best welding. Can't really see it. That's how tight it is. Finally finishing my gas tank install, which this was in the middle of, so my videos will be way out of order. As soon as this cools down, I'll go ahead and paint the top part of that so I can drop it down. Well, it's time to address a problem that just kind of came up while I was trying to think about putting the tank in. And that one was this. So the shocks, right? I'm going to have to do some cutting and trimming on this to see if we can go ahead and get this to work. So I'm going to put this up here and mark out where this will be hitting and see if I can cut it out enough that these get clearance without compromising the integrity of the actual welding bracket itself. So wish me luck. Here are the finished results from our tech that are going to go in, and it's a 2 5/8, so they'll go right down there. It's all welded up now up top. I had to spare you my poor welding. We got 8.4 here, 8.4 there, and then I double checked the height to the floor on this. They are cherry. We are back ready to go ahead and install this gas tank. You can skip over to my other video about the mounting relocation of these shocks, but I had to go ahead and rotate those and do a bit of work to make sure that they cleared. But now these should be totally out of the way when this goes up, so that way they don't interact with this corner cut. Oh, baby. Okay. For those of you curious on how the shocks and everything went through, and just the fitment, I still have to do like the hooking up of the electronics, the fuel lines, all that stuff. So hope I don't find out I had to do it before I put it up here. But so The shocks are cleared here, and we have a decent little bit here. I don't think it'll get in the way. And then you're able to, on these Falcon adjustables, I can still rotate through 1, 2, and 3. It's finally time to call it a night. Tomorrow's testing, but we got everything zip tied up and out of the way, all the electrical terminated and covered up. I just got the exhaust all finished up. So what I did is there was a hanger right here. I cut it out because it was just going to tap against this. And I took another one that I cut out in the back where the tank went in, the gas tank went in, and I welded it in. I grabbed myself just a 2.5-inch clamp that just bolts on, and I cut off the part that was on here. There was a hanger on this very end piece, and I just cut the tip of that, and I welded it to that. And so that gave me what I needed to go ahead and hook into here. And this is removable, so we don't have any problems, but now it's stiffened this up quite a bit. So hopefully there's not any vibration noise or anything like that. So I'm pretty stoked on it. Now I feel good enough to go ahead and throw the skid plate on. And then I tied up all my hoses. Oh, I gotta cut that off. But there's the sticky pads that you can run a zip tie through. I used the sticky pad, and then I threw some caulking around it. That way, because the caulking usually will hold where the sticky pad might not. So that way we don't have to worry about the heat busting it off. So I got it all set up, a little 3-piece down there. So now we're ready to go ahead and throw the skid up on it. And then all we need now is my control arms. The middle part of getting this all done was welding this piece in on the skid. I had to suck in that and tie them together a little bit, but not too bad. Pretty easy to weld on because it's pretty clean up in there. It's alive! Fresh off the press. Julian did amazing. She even went out of her way to help me get some of these ends here because hers were going to take longer than I had on my turnaround time. Super quick. Amazing job. Stoked on it. We are done. It's definitely been a project of highs and lows, hard times and triumphs, but this would be probably in my top 3 difficulties that I've done on the Jeep so far. The other 2 top ones would be getting the Genrite cage welded and installed and replacing the motor. But this was a lot of work, from moving the gas tank to welding in the new rear crossmember to fixing the front crossmember because I had cracks from the long arm, to welding up the axle and getting everything done, control arms, all the different aspects of it. But I'm hoping it's going to be worth it. I'm really looking forward to the trip that I have tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see you guys out on the trail.